I don't think there's anything wrong with making stuff that people enjoy. And if people enjoy it, that's okay. That's the market. But as an industry and as passionate people about coffee, I think that there's something to say about bending the knee or going down, like reaching below to please certain people rather than inviting them to like come up and try something better. Are the mics rolling?
The mics are rolling.
Okay.
Rolling.
Our coffee has
17. It'll play a little jingle when
15
it's ready.
seconds. You want to get going without the coffee?
Might as well.
Oh, man.
Pick up that ding on the mics. Coffee.
All right.
You know it. You love it.
It's almost done.
It's almost done.
Almost ready. I mean, I can't even wait. We have 4 seconds on this coffee.
So
Get ready.
patient.
Here it comes.
Oh, my gosh. Music to my ears.
There's the coffee rainbow. It's ready.
Just keep dripping. I don't want it to... Oh, man. There it is, folks. Cafe.
How much coffee have you had today already?
Let's see. 2.5 cups.
Nice.
I was doing a bunch of stuff, and my cup got cold. So I brewed another one.
I had a cortado of the Kenya. What's the new Kenya?
Shoot, man. I'm so focused on the new Kenyan.
Yeah. The old new Kenyan.
Holy moly.
Like
What
it's
the
only
heck?
like a month or two.
I'm blanking.
The Kenya.
I want to... Oh, it's Muinami.
Oh.
Kenya Muinami Estate. Fire. What
It's
do you think
on
of it?
Single origin at 305.
305, yeah.
It was a
I
good
had it the other
cortado.
day.
It's a good cortado. Yep.
Baristas there said it tastes like ranch.
Dressing.
Yeah.
Ranch dressing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I agree with that.
No.
It-
They told you that too?
No,
Oh.
but I disagree with what that. It
Yeah.
was savory,
Yeah.
a little bit tomatoey, maybe a little bit citrusy.
Pasta sauce. That's what I got. You know,
It
like
was
a creamy
sweet, too,
pasta
yeah.
sauce.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was really good.
And then I had a pour over of the Papua New Guinea. What's that called?
Kunjin?
Gunjin.
Kunjin.
Kunjin.
Okay. Yeah.
That's also a nice coffee.
Yeah.
like that
got
one.
Got some good coffees
The old
lately.
PNG.
And I mean, we have right now like a washed Colombian whole, but that'll be launching next week.
That's my favorite hole.
Yeah.
I prefer it to not.
Crazy thing.
I
Anyway,
prefer it to not be a hole. I prefer there to be many coffees.
To be, you know.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
I like washed Colombians.
Huesaco.
Colombia and Ecuador are like 2 countries that I just consistently have bangers from.
Yeah.
Even if they're
They don't miss.
even if they're a mellow coffee from Colombia, it's good.
Speaking of
Most of the
Colombia,
time.
that's a country that's been doing a lot about what our topic is today. Segue. Coffee ferments. But have you ever heard of a co-ferment?
Have you?
It's when they
No doubt.
ferment the coffee with an additive such as fruit or an outside yeast. It's crazy. But that's what we're drinking today. So
Yeah, tell me about this while I fill
we've
your
got
mug.
Podium Coffee Club here. So if you haven't heard of them, they are a monthly subscription. They'll send you a different coffee. And the reason it's called Podium is they'll send you a coffee from a roaster that has won an award for their coffee. So it's not just your old subscription service. It's bangers every time. So today, we've got Freelance Coffee. This is their limited reserve. They're based out of California. They're Colombia Galaxy Hops Co-ferment. And I had no idea what that meant. I thought I just made up a name. But it's actually a varietal of hops unique to Australia, or at least created in Australia. So this coffee, while fermenting, they added a little bit of this Galaxy hops to change the fermentation of this coffee. So it says, like a ride through the cosmos.
That's crazy.
Triple fermented, no idea what that means, and co-fermented. Notes of, are you ready? Pine sap, chamomile, and ginger.
Very tart. Bitter
Yeah.
notes.
Pine sap is like, the first note, that's like I mean, that's good. It like sets the stage.
Yeah.
Like this isn't your grandma's coffee.
No, it's not.
Let's give it a whiff.
Wow.
It smells like
tea.
It smells like a mixture of unglazed ceramic and those little like herbal green tea mints you get from Trader Joe's.
I have some of those right now.
You do?
Yep.
Fire.
Any old bag, you want one? I'll get it later. I'll get you for you later.
All right. I'll wait.
Yeah, it's very tea.
Yeah. I get almost
kinda
like a
chamomile
mintiness, but
smell.
yeah. Yeah.
Kind of that herbal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Might as well get our buds on that.
Buds.
Huh.
I mean, my first thoughts of like, it's a co-ferment, so I'm already in the mindset of this coffee is going to taste a certain way. But this is different, in a good way.
It really does taste like chamomile, however you say it. It really does.
I brewed this on a Kalita this morning,
Yeah.
and this tastes wildly different. This tastes better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It tastes a lot more. I taste a lot more of that herbal, that tea.
It's so
this
herbal.
time.
Genuinely, this just tastes like an herbal tea to me.
Well,
Like if I was given this in a cup
No
and I
way.
drank it without tasting it, I would not guess that this is coffee.
No, the body. I feel like the body itself, the body of coffee is so different than tea. But unless it's like a strong,
Fair, but it tastes like herbal tea with honey in it.
with honey, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever had a coffee that's been co-fermented with hops before. I don't really know what that does.
Really fascinating. It's pleasant.
I mean, I think that's the
drink.
whole thing with co-ferments is that it's just this crazy experimentation.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's pretty cool to taste the random things people are doing. What would you, your enjoyment on this one compared to other co-ferments you've had? Where would you put it? Like middle of the road, higher, lower?
This is definitely higher. I feel like it's complex and interesting. I feel like a lot of co-ferments I have are not that interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas
I feel
this
like they
one
taste more or less the same sometimes.
Yeah, very fermenty, very just heavy.
Yeah.
Where this one is, it still has some of that fermentiness, some of the heaviness, but it's unique to where I'm like enjoying the experience of it more than other ones I've had. That is so interesting.
Yeah, I like that. So,
Wow.
topic today, I already said it a little bit. We're talking about co-fermentation. We've been tasting them a lot recently. It's been a thing for a couple of years in the industry, or even a lot longer than that.
It's something that we've had opinions on for a while, but I feel like now we've actually gathered enough, tasted enough to
We pinned our ears back. We went after it.
to have a little bit more of a, I feel like a rounded opinion.
It's easy to have an opinion about something and just decide that's what you think about it, but you
Me
have
and
to
Jack
actually
are so good at that.
so good at that.
Me and Jack
you know?
can give you an opinion about almost anything.
If we don't have one, we'll make one up for you.
I'll make one on the spot. I've never heard of this thing. I'll form one.
Yep, and that will be my opinion until I hear something else about it. So.
And Jack specifically, he'll fight for it. He'll fight you.
I will.
He'll say, "No, you're wrong."
Even though I don't have any grounding on it.
So
Some may view that as a flaw, but anyway.
it depends on the context.
Yes, it does.
Anyway, though, I say that to say that we're looking forward to being able to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it's been something that we've thought about, but we haven't really dedicated the time to it because we wanted to make sure that our opinions and our thoughts on it were well rooted.
Yeah, because I mean, this
They
isn't.
withstood some testing, some shaking up, and see if they actually stand. So
Yeah, I mean, because this isn't just some silly thing you talk about. This is a thing that farmers are actually investing a lot into the infrastructure, and this is something to take seriously, whether or not what they're doing is worthwhile and can stand in the competition scene as well. That's something we'll get to, because it's not just about whether or not you like it or not, because the farmer may get a certain amount of money for this crop, but there's a lot that goes into that. For sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we need to kind of start with a refresher on what coffee fermentation is.
Yes.
We've talked about it a little bit, but not super in depth.
Yeah. I mean, we've got episode 5 if you guys want to check that one out about coffee fermentation. But
And that was coffee processing in general too, right?
yes, coffee processing, which all coffee goes through fermentation. No matter what coffee it is, it always gets fermented at least a little bit. So fermentation is the chemical reaction of all of the things inside of coffee. The yeast, the bacteria, and other microorganisms, they break down sugars into simpler substances, releasing heat, producing flavors. That is a huge portion of what makes the flavors in your cup, is the fermentation. Yes, the terroir matters, the soil that it's grown in, the elevation, and the roasting. But, I mean, one huge part of it, I would say, I guess I don't really know what percentage of this that matters, or even if that's quantifiable, but this changes the flavor of a coffee a lot. I mean, you can easily tell by I've done it before, tasted a coffee, same lot of coffee that's been fermented one way and then the other. So different enzymes can catalyze the reaction, and then all of the microbes that are present in the coffee while it's fermenting will change the outcome of the flavor. So 2 main types of processing.
Okay, I'll name the method, and then you give a short explanation as a refresher. Okay, so washed process.
Washed process, that means that when they pick the coffee cherry, they'll pulp the bean, so the seed will come out of the cherry, but they'll leave the mucilage on to break down, then they'll clean it off. So that produces a cleaner, brighter cup most of the time.
Yep, natural process.
That means that the coffee seed's left in the cherry while it's fermented and while it's dried. So that produces fruitier, deeper, more complex notes.
And then there's kind of a third one. It's not quite as common, but it is pretty common still. It's honey process.
Yes. So honey or pulp natural, that's the Brazilian term for it, basically means that similar to a wash, it is pulped and the mucilage is left on, but it's left on a lot longer than wash process. It's let to dry in the mucilage as well, not just to break down just so they can clean it off. It's specifically left on purpose to kind of like have a halfway reaction of fermentation, of you're not having the full cherry on to ferment and you're not taking it completely off. So this, you got pulp natural. It's a Brazilian origin term for what most of the industry now calls honey process. And then in Costa Rica, that's where the term honey process was popularized, but they've got different levels like white, black, red, just referring to the levels of mucilage left on the coffee. So white just means almost no mucilage, and black means there's literally all they did was remove the skin of the cherry.
Interesting. I think that honey, people get the wrong idea in their head, but
I know at first I was like, man, did they just throw these beans in honey? Like act like bee honey?
Yeah.
They don't.
They're typically so sweet though, so I think that doesn't help.
No.
It's called honey, and then they're just so sweet and smooth. But yeah, I like pulped natural is a helpful way to think of it too. So those are the most common ones, and every single one of those undergoes fermentation in one way or another.
Yes.
Now, the steps along the way are as a refresher, the cherry is on the plant. They pick those.
Yep.
Take them off. Those usually have like 2 seeds face to face. Not always. Sometimes they'll have one tiny one, and that's a pea berry. But that's what's in a coffee cherry. And then they'll sort them. A lot of time at the smaller farms, it's manual sorting, just visually, whether by ripeness. They'll use a floating method too to sort them by ripeness. What floats to the top or sinks to the bottom.
Yep, the bad beans float to the top. Defects, that means that there's maybe air in the cherry, whatever it is.
And then from there, they go to processing. So for washed honey, they'll pulp them. For natural, they will leave them in their cherry, and then they'll go into the drying phase, where they dry them in
on raised beds.
Now, where in that process I'll finish. So they'll dry them on raised beds, and then from there they'll hull them if they're a natural.
Yes.
So make sure to take off all of the fruit entirely. Where in that process does fermentation happen?
So fermentation happens, I mean, it can happen even while the cherry is still on the plant. So the coffee is fermenting the entire time. But the actual, changes between a washed and a natural, typically they're talking about the fermentation that happens after the cherry is pulped or not pulped. It's left to dry, left to lower the moisture content so that they can prepare it for shipment.
Mm-hmm. So it would be during that drying phase where sometimes that fermentation or that drying would happen in barrels rather than on raised beds.
Yep.
And that's the difference there.
Yes.
Nice. And then from there they export them.
Yep.
Bag them up.
They got to remove that. I mean, there's one more layer on there that they always leave.
Silver skin.
The silver skin, the parchment. Well, no, the silver skin is actually underneath the parchment.
Oh, the silver skin is
what comes off during roasting the chaff.
Yes.
Yeah. But the parchment, that's why for a while I saw pictures of coffee farms. Like, why are all these beans yellow and not green like we see them in the roastery? But that's the outer layer. That's that parchment that really protects them from the outside elements. They'll remove that once they measure the moisture level, gone down to that 10 to 12%.
Okay. So during all of this, that fermentation that happens is it's not really controlled.
No.
It's just natural.
Yeah.
It's natural how it happens.
I mean, literally they'll just throw, if it's, an aerobic fermentation, they'll just throw these cherries in a barrel with just air and they will just ferment. And it's uncontrolled, it's wild, it's spontaneous. And there's not really a lot of research that's been done into what exact compounds are changing and producing certain flavors out of this cup. It's just kind of this is what this coffee tastes like. I mean, that's why a lot of different countries will produce different naturals and they'll taste wildly different from each other because a lot of it is due to just what's naturally present in the area, not just in the coffee cherry, because it'll just pull in outside whatever is just in the air, whatever, anything can be introduced into there. So
it's not super
recorded. Yeah.
It's not super scientific. It's more so tradition, agricultural based, and not as lab,
exactly,
precise science.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of these processing methods were just born out of what they had at the time in whatever country. I mean, that's why different fermentations, a washed Ethiopian can be different from a washed Kenyan. They just have different practices. Because, this is what we're just talking about, the washed versus natural. These are just, generally speaking, they're not always going to be the same at every single country. That's why they'll taste so wildly different, because they're just rooted in tradition.
There's no laws.
There's no laws.
Enforcing the names of these globally. So
no.
Yeah, but it's our best way to categorize them.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you want to explain a little bit of what happens during that fermentation phase to a coffee?
Yeah. So, you get all of these microbes just breaking down. And then generally speaking, the bacteria in there whatever bacteria strains are in there from the coffee cherry, from that fermentation, because really this is just a controlled rot. That's what fermentation is in any industry. Wine industry, that's what fermentation is you're just controlling the rot of these fruits, really, to bring out flavors. But the bacteria generally produces acidity, and then the yeast, whatever yeast is in there, will produce the aroma, the smell, and that also affects the taste as well. Lactic acid bacteria are the main drivers in the acidity, and then yeast strains drive ester, which is what really produces that aroma in the cup. It's not stuff that I deeply understand. It's stuff that I'm beginning to understand. So, even as I'm saying this, I don't fully comprehend what's going on.
Yes.
It's very complex.
Where we are not I'm going to try and give you an in-depth scientific breakdown. There are people that are more qualified for that.
We've done the research that we can do and what we can comprehend.
Yeah. And this is maybe, this is going to be more so a basic definition to understand what we're talking about, but then really talking about the way that it should impact the industry and ways it should be used.
If you want to learn more about what actually happens from a scientific standpoint, I recommend a podcast called Making Coffee with Lucia Solis. She's a former winemaker. She now lives in Guatemala, and that's what she does, is coffee fermentation, studying it, helping farmers understand it, and just, helping the industry change, really. It's really fascinating stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are
Way
more
smarter
qualified. And if you're interested in that chemical and that scientific side of things, definitely look into it, because there's a lot of cool stuff to find about it.
Yeah. See, I'm interested in it, but it's like, I'm here. It's like, it's over my head, you know?
Yeah.
I just reached out of frame, so you guys can't even see how high I
It's over your heads, too. You can't even see up here, can you? No, you can't.
Unless you're like
that.
A chemist,
And if you're listening, you definitely can't see that.
No.
If you're a chemist, I don't think the chemist can see my hand either.
No.
If you're a chemist in the comments and you can see my hand, let me know.
That's crazy. Are they in the room with us?
That would be crazy.
Only way. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So.
Yes.
There are two things, and I didn't necessarily... It was helpful for me to hear the distinct differences. But there are kind of two things that are happening right now that are popularized to happen with coffee to impart flavor. And that is co-fermentation and infusion.
Yeah.
And I don't think I realized that there was a difference for a while.
I did not.
So co-fermentation is introducing something else into that fermentation process.
Yes.
That doesn't necessarily impart flavor.
Yeah.
It can, but it doesn't necessarily.
Yes.
So one thing that's less controversial is yeast.
Yeah.
Which Mundo's has had several.
I think
one or two.
One. The
Only
Musa
one?
Abululesa was a yeast anaerobic.
Oh, I really thought there were two.
Yeah. I don't think so. I know we've had like double washed coffees before, but it's never been anything that has been what's considered. And I mean, I've heard of like 3 types of this experimental processing of co-fermentation, inoculation, and then infusion. And what I've heard about inoculation is either it's a yeast that may be naturally occurring in the coffee that the farmers are just adding more of to accelerate,
jumpstart, enhance, that
or
kind
even
of thing.
adding outside yeast. I've seen yeast that comes from wine, different yeast.
Yes. Now, using yeast that's naturally occurring in the coffee is the least controversial method.
Yes.
It's jump-starting. It's maybe enhancing something that wouldn't naturally be that way, but it's not so far from... It's not adding something that the coffee wouldn't already have. It's just enhancing it.
I mean, the biggest argument I've seen for stuff like that is that because of the fact that this fermentation is so not understood, that by adding these yeast, you're able to actually control what's going on and be able to... This will help farmers have a higher success rate in their lots. Being able to control the fermentation, because with fermentation, you get bad beans. You get beans that the cherries have gone too far into the rot, where they have taste defects, and then roasters will cup these coffees and they will reject them because they are not up to their standards.
Yeah. And that's maybe something that we can get back to is the farmer's side of that. Because that kind of changes the conversation a little bit.
Yeah.
But so yeast is one of those things, right?
Yes.
That's kind of the least controversial thing to incorporate into that fermentation process.
Yeah.
Now, when you are co-fermenting with a fruit, say it's grapes or watermelon or pineapple or lime, any of those things, the main objective with that is not necessarily to impart flavor.
Yeah.
It's
you're
to
not
introduce,
really trying to make a watermelon flavored coffee.
It's to introduce the yeast.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Why not every co-ferment tastes like the fruit?
Yeah.
And so some might. I've had a co-ferment with watermelon that really did taste like watermelon.
Yeah.
It was watermelon. I've had grape co-ferments that did taste like grape soda. But what it's mainly imparting is the yeast into that fermentation process, and that's going to impact the way that the coffee itself ferments.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about like what is able to permeate the coffee seed while it's fermenting. you could add chocolate syrup onto the outside of a coffee bean, but that if you just wash it off, it's not going to taste like chocolate. It's only due to these things that can actually permeate the yeast, the bacteria that can ferment on the cherry and impose different flavors.
Yeah. And so co-fermentation does not inherently mean flavored coffee.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the distinction there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing that I had before I really understood it. I was just kind of like, man, this is just flavored coffee with extra steps, or that people are trying to pass off as specialty coffee. Because, I mean, you've seen those roasters that will spray vanilla flavoring on their coffee beans after the roast. That is very clearly flavored coffee. They label it as such. I don't think it tastes good. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. But this is, I thought it was they're just adding flavor at origin so they can get away with it. But no, it's actually doing something way different.
There's more science. There's more craft to it.
Yes.
Now, the other thing that's popular is infusion.
Mm-hmm.
And that is different because that is usually after the coffee's dry.
Yes.
It is an infusion of oils into the coffee.
Yeah.
That, the chief goal of that is to impart flavor.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't always mean, right, like they could have, right, like whole orange peels. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Like if they put whole orange peels into a barrel with dried coffee, that's infusion. It's not co-fermentation because the fermentation process has stopped, but it's allowing those oils to infuse into the coffee.
Yeah. So I'm essentially just like coating the coffee with these oils. By the time you get it into your roastery, you roast it, there's actually real coffee oils on there still.
Yeah.
A little different.
So that is different. And that is one that I think between the two, I'm more hesitant towards.
Yeah.
Is that intentional imparting of the flavor of something else into coffee.
Yeah.
One danger of that is just in general the lack of transparency and like the safety of what's happening there, where these oils are coming from, all of that stuff. But it's different. So co-fermentation is not, to kind of summarize, co-fermentation is introducing something to affect the fermentation process, not only to impart flavor.
Yeah.
Infusion is using oils to impart flavor.
Yeah. I mean, all of these are tools of experimentation, helping farmers to be able to experiment with flavors that in ways that they have never been able to do before.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get into like maybe the debate for this, the pros and cons.
Yes.
Let's start with the pros.
Yeah.
One, looking at the farmer side, and I think that this is the most convincing argument for it, is it helps farmers who, when you have a full perspective on the coffee industry, you really do see that a lot of farmers they're working very hard.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot. They're working with what they've got. They're trying to make a living. Right, they're not these huge plantations. They're not all of this. A lot of specialty farmers are just small family farms that are really trying to find value in their product. They're trying to sell their coffee to places around the world that have a market that they're maybe not even that familiar with.
Yeah,
it's very, very challenging.
Yeah, a lot of farmers are very disconnected with the people who are actually enjoying their coffee.
Yeah, so for them to be able to add value to what they're producing is a benefit to them.
Yeah.
It's a benefit to them to be able to say, okay, I have this product and it's okay. I would make this amount of money for it. But if I'm able to maybe put in a little bit of extra work in this area, I can enhance it.
Yeah.
I can add something more unique about it. I can lean into the craft of this side of processing and enhance the value of it in the market.
Yeah. I mean, that's always been a thing with whatever it may be, trying to plant different cultivars of coffee, trying different processing methods is always a way to enhance the actual quality of the cup. But this is rather having a way that's a little easier to access and a little more maybe understandable. And I mean, easy to access. These fruits and these yeasts are, depending on the origin, are very readily accessible to these farmers and not that expensive. So being able to invest this much capital and increase the cup score by a lot, then fetch higher prices for these coffees, makes a lot of sense for the farmers, right?
Mm-hmm. And from what I can tell in the farming world, among these farmers, there's kind of three camps that they fall into. One, there are the farmers that are doing it. They think it's good. They think it's interesting. It helps them, so they do it.
Yeah.
There are the farmers that are curious of how it can help them kind of increase the value of their crop.
Yeah.
And then there are the farmers that are purists that are not interested in doing that. They don't want to have those kind of experimental processes. They're not messing around with infusion of flavor, anything. They want to bring out exactly and only what's in their coffee and seek to have the highest quality and purest coffee they can.
Yeah. I mean, in Colombia, that I've seen specifically, is that this explosion of co-fermentation is actually a lot of the younger generation in Colombia is kind of getting them invested. They can they maybe have a little more education. They're able to connect more through social media with the buying markets for these coffees, and they're able to understand this farm is doing this. We can actually do this and make a decent living, because for a long time it's been, there's been a decline in the younger generation wanting to work on the farm and wanting to invest in the farm, because it's been seen as almost like a declining industry. Farmers maybe making less or not being able to make as much as they want to, not being as profitable as they would want to be. So this is kind of an avenue that they're interested in.
And growing up too, right? Like farmers that are our age, right?
Yeah.
And maybe their parents owned a farm. In the last generation, right? These small farms were not treated the same way they are now.
Yeah.
And even now, they're not necessarily making what they might need.
Yeah.
And so for somebody, trying to imagine yourself growing up in a family where your father and mother ran a farm and scraped by, you'd say, why would I do that? Why would I continue this? I would I want to do something else.
Because if you think
to
about
provide
it,
for my family.
like 90% of the world's coffee farms are commodity focused. So they're producing the cheapest of the cheap coffee. So, seeing this way to break into the specialty market where you're making a lot more money per pound, and it's a lot more sustainable in ways that you don't have to fundamentally change your farm, could make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Now, what are some pros on the cafe side of these co-ferments
I think
infusions?
I would say it's just interesting. Really, it is interesting to have these coffees for your guests, to be able to see what's new in the industry, to be able to taste these coffees, have fun with making different drinks with them. But yeah,
I'd agree. I think that maybe some people might argue accessibility as well. As kind of a gateway into specialty coffee, having really unique, fruity, sweet coffees. But yeah, that's the other thing that I think people would argue. So now let's talk about cons.
yes,
Some cons. I'm interested to hear what you think.
Yeah.
On the farming side, what do you think would be maybe a negative impact?
I mean, I think, like with anything in any industry, there's always the risk of something being a fad, of going away. So if you're going to, maybe this farm was producing high quality coffee and they found out that that takes a lot of work. You have to have a lot of extra time with people sorting through the coffee, more than you would normally for commodity coffee. So there's a lot of time invested in that. If you just switch to this co-fermentation, you can actually have lower quality beans hiding behind this co-fermented coffee, still get a good amount of money for your coffee. But if this goes away, then what infrastructure is the farmer left with? They still have this low quality coffee that would take them a lot to get back to what they were. Or maybe even the coffee farms that are already producing lower quality lots, able to get a lot more money for this, and they're investing in this infrastructure for co-fermentation that maybe it is cheaper, but it still does require a decent amount of money to get into this, to be able to have the co-fermentation tanks. If it goes away, that's a lot of wasted money there.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of a double-sided thing, right? Things being easier, pretty much just across the board in life for almost anything. If something is easier, it can be a good thing, but it often comes at a cost.
Yeah.
And I think that the cost that we might see of processing and making more expensive coffees becoming easier is a drop in quality. That conflict and that challenge to say, if I want to increase the value of my crop, the only way that I can do that is by pursuing the natural excellence of this coffee.
Yeah.
I think that is better for the industry. I think that produces better coffees and is more of a challenge than this easier way.
Yeah.
And again, it's twofold, right? Like, yes, it's easier. Not to say that it's easy, but it is easier. It's a lower barrier to entry, which is
For sure.
is doing good.
Yeah.
There's good coming of it. But I do also see, I would love to see more challenge as well, so that we're pushing, the global coffee industry is pushing that bar up and up and up for like how good can coffee be naturally.
Yeah. And that's the main question. Is like, is this the right direction? Are we pushing the right direction for coffee excellence?
Yeah. And maybe what this is more so polarizing. So what you might see is a shrinking portion in the middle, right? So you're going to see those really excellent lists, like well-farmed natural coffees.
Yeah.
Not natural process, but like
Unadulterated. Yeah.
Unadulterated. And those are going to be just so good. Those farmers are committed to that.
Yeah.
They're not touching that. Pepe Yujon at Finca Soledad, he is not interested in that at all.
Yeah.
I was talking to him briefly at Expo, and I thought he said something about co-ferment. And like I misheard him, it was loud, and he's like, "Oh no!" He's like, "No," because he's not interested in that. He wants to just produce the most beautiful natural coffee that he can.
Yes.
And so you're gonna, I think you might see that, and those prices are gonna go up.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna see those more accessible coffees, more and more of those, and those prices will go down. But where are those middle range, just like good coffees?
Yeah.
They might start to dwindle.
Yeah.
Because the barrier to entry is going to be those easier to process coffees instead of those like mid range. Just like, man, this is a good coffee. Yeah. It's not it's not like crazy, and it's not crazy price. It's just good. Yeah. And those might dwindle if this isn't a fad, if this is a consistent shift.
Yeah. I mean, another thing about risks involving co-ferments is the fact that it's very easy to mess up a because this is a controlled rot and you're introducing more variables. It's very easy to mess up and over ferment and ruin entire lots of coffee.
Yeah. Now on the consumer side of things, I really see more loss than benefit.
My question is, who as a consumer wants this or is asking for a co-fermented coffee? Is there a lot of ask for that? Or is it from a standpoint of roasteries trying to innovate? Is it something that the industry actually wants? Or is it, obviously the roastery always needs to be innovating and producing and roasting and finding excellent coffees. Is this a result of trying to over-innovate? Is there a lot of people who actually want it? Because personally, I don't.
That's
my thoughts.
That's the thing. So I think that the biggest danger, and honestly just my biggest issue with this, is not being clear about that. Like not being transparent. I think that not only do you need to be transparent, but you need to overcompensate. I think that roasteries should be overcompensating to make it clear that a coffee is co-fermented.
So on the same level of a roastery that were to flavor their beans after roasting, that same level of labeling.
I think it ought to be very clear. Right? Like this coffee from Colombia, They do well. It says in very large text here, the third largest on the bag. They've got their logo, they've got the country, and then the third largest text on the bag is Galaxy Hops Co-Ferment.
Yes.
That's clear. I have had coffee from places that was not clear.
No.
Maybe it was on there.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the processing, but it's small.
Yeah.
Right? And there's no distinction between their packaging or anything like that. And so it wasn't obvious that that's what it was. And I think that it ought to be clear.
Yeah.
I think that it's doing a disservice to like, and maybe this just comes from my perspective is honestly that co-ferments aren't that great. I've had interesting ones that I've enjoyed. Like I enjoyed this coffee.
Yeah.
This was really unique, really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But for most of the co-ferments I've had, I didn't enjoy them.
Yeah.
And so maybe this is coming from that perspective.
Yeah.
That I don't really enjoy them. And so I want to know clearly if it is one or not.
Yes.
But I do think that it ought to be clear.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you are really changing the way this coffee is fermenting. And, I mean, there are a lot of people who do agree with us. There's a lot of people who disagree with us that it should be within the farmer's right to ferment in whatever way they choose to see or choose to ferment and not have to make it clear to the consumer, or at least roasteries have to make it clear to the consumer what it is.
Yeah. I think, and because this is the thing here. Yeah. So I'm not going to say specific names because I don't want to name
names.
Yeah. I don't want to do that. But I have had 3 coffees from a particular farmer. Mm-hmm. 2 of which were co-ferments. One was just a washed coffee. Yeah. It's from Colombia. And that washed coffee was so lovely. I loved that coffee. So good. Just really one of just the best washed Colombians I've had. It wasn't even anything crazy. It was just caramely rich, delicious. And then the 2 co-ferments I had from this farmer, I did not enjoy at all. Like they just weren't that good. And that's the thing. Is like I know that this farmer is capable of producing really beautiful coffees. Yeah. So why is this even happening? Why is this? Why are we messing around with these co-ferments that really don't taste that good? Yeah. They don't taste like coffee. They don't taste that good. So like, and you're making beautiful natural coffee, and so I would rather have that any day.
For sure.
But
for sure. I mean, and another big thing about fermentation or this labeling the co-fermentation is competition. Mm-hmm. I know the Best of Panama 2024, they actually outright banned the use of any co-fermentation or infused or adulterated coffees in the competition because they wanted it to be about just pure natural coffees, that aren't influenced by outside flavors. I mean, of course, they would ban something like a flavored coffee naturally because it's not just coffee, and you could influence people to say this coffee tastes naturally sweeter than the other. And they've outright banned it, which I think is the correct choice. Whether or not you enjoy co-ferments, whether or not you think they should stick around or whatever you think, I think that's the right choice. What do you think?
I agree. I think that there can be different kinds of competitions too. Yeah. Right. In any culinary world, there's the world of the purists of certain things, and then there's the innovation. And I think that both are okay, and I think that both are worth doing. Yeah. But for me, I typically, almost with anything I have, I'm a purist. Yeah. In that I want it to be just good and natural. Yeah. Just well done.
Yeah. I mean, it goes to speak to how hard the farmer has worked and how their hard work has paid off. Of this seed that grows from the ground, the care that you put in for this coffee, the final cup is just so beautiful and so wonderful, and it just makes makes it taste all that more delicious because it's pure.
Yeah, and it's kind of I view that the same way, and maybe this isn't a great example because maybe I just don't know that much about it. So maybe I'll sound dumb, but right, like with liquor, I would rather have a clean, good liquor than something that's flavored.
Sure.
Right, like I'm not gonna buy a flavored bourbon, but people enjoy that
For sure.
and like that's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't want it. And whenever that's the case, it's usually very clearly labeled. And so that's the distinction. It's like both can exist.
Yeah.
Right. The same company can make really great, nice bourbon, and they can make something that has flavor in it. They make both. They're labeled clearly. They do something really good, and they do something that's, I don't a crowd pleaser maybe.
Yeah.
Is the word. And so I think both can exist in that world, and I think both can exist in coffee.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to throw either out.
No, I mean it's like saying just because I don't enjoy naturally processed coffees, do I think they shouldn't exist? No, I think they should exist. Just like I think co-ferments being experimental is a very cool thing. I'm never gonna obviously you saw me drink co-ferment just now. I'm not gonna somebody offers me one. I'm not gonna be like, actually, I'm not gonna defile myself with that. I think it's very interesting. It's just not my cup of tea. Taste wise and like fundamentally wise.
This one is a cup of tea.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, are we sure there's actual beans in there?
Open it up and it's leaves. I still cannot. I just can't believe how much that coffee tasted like tea. It's so herbal.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Very interesting. I have to try that on espresso.
It's kind of fun to drink, but
Sure.
yeah, I wonder if espresso it would be so like punch in the face almost.
It's like a novelty. It's like something that is very fun and interesting to try, but it's not something that I'm gonna drink all the time. It's not my daily driver. It's not gonna get me through the day.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. I'm curious to know what you guys think. If you guys have thoughts on this,
Yes.
let us know below. I think that our big takeaway is like that they're okay to do. Right? Like
You have the equal parts stamp for approval. You guys you can go ahead. Have fun.
Have fun.
Farmers,
you guys are allowed to. We'll let you keep doing it. They're okay to do.
Yeah.
They have some benefits. They have some drawbacks.
Yeah.
And we just want transparency.
Yeah,
I think.
that's
I think
the
we just
biggest
want
thing.
transparency. We want it to be clear what's happening.
I mean, just like I flavored coffees, I'm not going to think. I mean, there's a little more there where I'm just like, what's the point? But there's people who genuinely enjoy stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not friends with those people, but there are people.
I would never, ever do something like that. No, I'm joking. But I do think there is something to say. As much as we can say there are people that enjoy something,
Yes.
there is a standard of excellence that I think is worth pulling people up to as well. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with making stuff that people enjoy, right?
Yeah.
There's not.
Yep.
And if people enjoy it, that's okay. That's the market. But as an industry and as passionate people about coffee, I think that there's something to say about bending the knee or going down, like reaching below to please certain people rather than inviting them to like come up and try something better.
Yeah. I mean, there's a huge market for dark roast. You can make a lot of money offering a dark roast if you don't already. But it's like, I would rather like show people that, hey, I know this is what you're used to and this is tradition, but there is something so much better out there. And I've had a lot of success with being open with people, being able to give them coffees and they've been able to like open their eyes to this world of specialty coffee. That would a co-ferment do the same thing? I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that everybody's capable. I'm not gonna force people or think less of them for liking something that I think is not as good. Right? That's not what I'm saying at all. But I think that everybody is capable of experiencing and enjoying high quality things.
Yeah.
I just think that people don't realize it. They haven't been shown. And so I guess my challenge to anybody in the industry is, why are you doing it? Because I think there's a right motivation and maybe a compromising motivation. And if you're really passionate about it, if you're really passionate about coffee and you think that coffee is like beautiful and delicious, right? Like let's pull people up. And maybe you think that this co-ferment is the best way to transition. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give specific like prescriptions on how to do that. But I think our motivation as people who really care about what we're doing and as like passionate about coffee should be to lead people and to like show them how good it can be.
Absolutely.
Rather than just meeting them where they're at and helping and like keeping them there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. Profound.
Yeah. And I think that's something that Mundo's has done really well.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do it that way.
Yeah.
Right. Mundo's hasn't compromised on a number of things that they've decided that they don't think are that good. And there are things that Mundo's initially was like, we don't think it's that good. And they have made compromises for the sake of people. So there's a balance there. I'm not saying be so lofty and uppity that nobody can access you and you're just, a pompous jerk.
We have the specialty. We have specialty coffee. We want as many people to enjoy it as possible. How do we bring people alongside that journey? Do you just act like you're holier than thou? No, no one's gonna want to join you on that journey. You have to meet people where they're at, bring them with you, and just not exclude anybody,
Yeah. Just get some really nice, nutty, chocolatey Mexico's or Brazil's or Peru's and stop dark roasting your coffee, folks.
Hashtag stop the dark roast. Because if there's no more dark roast, then no one will buy it anymore.
Real.
There will always be somebody out there roasting it.
They'll be buying the specialty stuff.
The soul out of those beans.
They'll be buying the stuff and throwing it in their cast iron at home. Burn a little bit more.
Gosh. Gotta outlaw that. No more roasting your coffee after it's been roasted.
Shout out Luke, my brother. He'll probably listen to this. He's in the Dominican Republic right now, but he texted us the other day because he was actually looking for us for some coffee because he thought it'd be fun, like we would enjoy him bringing some coffee home to us. And the tour guide was like, "Oh yeah, we got this coffee. It's like super good specialty." And he sent us a picture, and it's just like enormous kettle of like really unevenly burnt coffee.
That's the surprising
like there's
part
like yellow parts on it, but it is mostly just black.
See, I'm not surprised that it's dark roast. I'm just surprised at the fact that they failed at consistently dark roasting. I feel like it's not that hard.
It's in a big kettle.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? But it's not like it's a drum. They're shaking it and stirring it. But it's so funny because, Luke said he tasted it and he said it was the worst coffee he's ever had. Oh. And he's not even that big of a coffee person. But,
no.
Yeah,
if Luke says it's bad, it's bad.
He said it could have been lima beans.
Oof.
And it would have tasted the same since it was burnt so much.
Yikes.
Which is, always my take on burnt food. Don't burn your marshmallows, folks. It's just an excuse. Learn how to roast it.
It's called impatience.
I'm
guilty of it for sure.
You can't. You are worth more than a burnt marshmallow, folks. You deserve better.
Wow.
Okay, take the time. Roast a marshmallow. If you don't want to, have somebody else do it for you. There are people that love roasting marshmallows.
If you're not going to slowly cook your marshmallow, are you actually enjoying the fire that you're at? What's your rush? Are you trying to get out of there?
Yeah. I'm so tired of this. I like it that way. I like it burnt.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You've
convinced yourself you do because you feel like you are not capable of roasting a marshmallow. And you feel like
delayed gratification.
Your enjoyment of that marshmallow isn't worth the time it takes. Think about that. Sit on that.
Chew that.
Don't burn. Stop burning your food, folks. All right, Jack, we got anything else for the people?
I don't know. Do we? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Again, let us know what you think about co-ferments. Have you had any that are really great?
Yeah.
Have you had them in any applications that are interesting? We'd love to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. I mean, I'd be curious, like in what ways? In blends, in actual signature drink making?
We're still learning.
Yeah.
Although we've tried stuff, like we're still learning. We're still.
Yeah. It's very fascinating to me. I'm cautiously enjoying them, But I mean, enjoying them in the sense that it's fun to experiment and see what different fruits fermenting with coffee produce different flavors. Not that I'm like knocking cup back after cup. You know?
Yeah. Again, I mean, this is one of the most interesting co-ferments I've had. Maybe the most.
You might have to make that an espresso right after this episode.
Yeah, I'd be interested to try that. This is very interesting.
Yeah. Real.
Cool.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yep. See you guys.
Episode 32.
Sweet.
Next time.